We're on your side tonight, sharing a landmark achievement in local Charlotte radio. You know, there's a quote from the Oscar-winning film Lawrence of Arabia: "Big things have small beginnings." And that certainly is the case for WBT, Charlotte's legacy radio station. This week, WBT celebrates a century being on the air. WBTV photojournalist Gregory Simpson has the story of how this station, really iconic now with Charlotte culture, began with a few minds, a passion for radio, and a goal to create a station to stand the test of time. WBT.
It wasn't a monster to start with at all. It was very, very simple. A chicken coop. You had three men over in the area of Charlotte, near Charlotte Country Club. A guy named Earl Gluck, a guy named Frank Bunker, a guy named Fred Laxton, and the three of them were ham radio operators. And they sort of combined forces and put their resources together and built a station. It was an experimental station called 4XD, and they got a commercial license, and that became what we now know as WBT. But it was really started as a hobby, and it grew, and obviously here we are at a century, and it has become what it has become because of so many of the people along the way that pushed it on. The biggest name always is and goes back to a guy named Grady Cole.
This is Grady Cole, and it's WBT, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Who was the 3-decade-plus morning man for this station. He started in the 30s, and he went for those decades. I mean, there are people who said Grady Cole could have been elected governor of North and South Carolina at one point. I have audio of Billy Graham milking cows at his family home in Charlotte, listening to Grady Cole and Charles Crutchfield, who was he was many things, but I think the most important thing was he was the president of the company.
7:15 on the Boyd Show this morning, WBT. Let's go.
You have Ty Boyd, who worked for WBTV. I was sort of a jack of all trades, was our morning man in the 60s into the 70s. Bob Lacey is another name that Channel 3 veterans will know, who has been TV and radio. H.A. Thompson, Henry Bogan, I could go on. And of course, John Hancock, who is our most recent inductee into the Hall of Fame.
I got here in December of 1990. I'd never done talk radio before. They had never done talk radio before. Why they hired me, they don't know, I don't know, but I think we're both thankful that that's the way it happened. They knew they had to make a big change, that the radio station had gotten older and they needed to make a change. And that's kind of what the new general manager had been told, was shake this place up. To me, it works because then you become a part of your community. Otherwise, you're just a speaker. It works because I can get on the air and talk to the people of Charlotte and say, if we all get together and raise money and buy bicycles, we can take care of 3,500 kids this Christmas. And we did that for 26 years. It works because we used to have conversations, and we'd get on the air and we'd yell and scream about what we believed in, but at the end of it, the listener generally would say, hey, thanks, John, I enjoyed that. Radio works because it's one-on-one, and you're driving the same streets they are, and you're eating in the same restaurants that they are, and you become a part of their day, but you also become a part of their city. And I've told everybody that's ever come here, if you show Charlotte that you care about Charlotte, they'll care back. Nobody's ever disappointed me on that.
News Talk 1110, WBT.
You know, I'm born and raised Charlotte. As time marches on, fewer and fewer people can say that. I love the fact that Charlotte has so many people coming in, but it's just, it's not a usual thing that you meet somebody who was born and raised here. I can say I was born and raised on this station. I grew up listening to it. I wanted to work here. I was lucky enough to start here in high school and ultimately do the morning show here, which I took over 10 years ago. So I've lived this station, and I can't imagine life without it. And I know I'm not the only one to be saying that, but I think it's an important thing for those of us that feel that way to keep that torch lit. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Incredible. You feel it, folks. Walk in the halls of this building, the legends who have broadcast out of that studio. I appreciate them sharing their story with us.